It's another day with your fertility specialist. Welcome you all, our dear viewers, to another episode on a day with your fertility specialist. On behalf of House Hospitals, we love to say thank you to our dear viewers. Thank you for liking our post. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for always staying glued to your screen. So, as we get started, please share this link with someone, call up someone. Feel free to drop your thoughts, your comments, your questions in the comment section, and we'll definitely respond appropriately. Well, we're talking about sperm DNA fragmentation. And yes, we have Dr. Ken. Dr. Ken, it's been a while. We had you here, so it's good to have you today.
Yeah, especially talking about spam.
So I'm sure our viewers are excited to see you, Dr. Ken. Yes, viewers, for the sake of someone joining for the first time, a bit about Dr. Ken. He's a consultant gynecologist. He's a minimal access surgeon, as a matter of fact, the first that pioneered laser gynecological surgeries in Africa. He's also a fertility specialist and many more. But for today, maybe he'll be the sperm specialist. Well, so let's see what he has brought about sperm DNA fragmentation today. Once again, like I said, drop your thoughts, your comments, your questions in the comment section and respond appropriately. So, Dr. Ken, we're talking about sperm. Well, we've been on this sperm topic, so please call up a man right now, because most times you have women focus on this. It's more like it's a woman problem thing, but we're talking about sperm and DNA fragmentation. So please call up any man you have in your life right now, even if it's your grown-up son. You can call them up.
Sure.
So, Dr. Ken, well, speaking of DNA fragmentation with the sperm, what does it really mean to begin with?
Oh, DNA fragmentation. Yeah, I think this is one of the most important characteristics of a sperm,
Hmm.
or one very important thing that should be observed in a sperm when you're thinking about fertility. Yeah, the sperm has DNA.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, if you look at the structure of a sperm, for instance,
Yeah.
the sperm has what we call the head, you know, then it has the neck, the body, and tail,
Hmm.
so the head is that big part that looks like a tadpole head,
Okay.
and that contains the nucleus. The nucleus is where the genetic materials of the sperms
Oh,
are, and
okay.
that is where the DNA is.
Yes.
So the
Oh.
DNA actually is located in the head of the sperm.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. And when you want to talk about fertility, getting fertilization of an egg, the
Yeah.
quality of fertilization of an egg, the quality of embryos, continuity of pregnancy, miscarriage, and all of that, then of
Yeah.
course the integrity of the DNA becomes very important.
Hmm.
Yes. So, so when you talk about fragmentation, it means the DNA contained in the head of the sperm
Yeah.
breaking
Oh.
into pieces.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the
In a
simple
simplified
way I
way.
can put it.
Yes. Yes.
And this can actually be in different percentages.
Hmm.
And there are some percentages that are considered to be manageable,
Hmm.
some percentages considered to be okay and are okay with the sperm, and
Yeah.
of course some percentages considered to be very abnormal and poor. And so the quality of sperms, in addition to the regular analysis,
Hmm.
it's been determined by the degree
Of-
of the breaking up or fragmentation of the DNA in the head of the sperm. And the DNA is what carries the hereditary material
Hmm.
of the sperm located in the nucleus in the head of the sperm. So it's a very important feature of analysis of a sperm, though it is not done regularly
Yeah.
until it is called upon or it becomes very necessary to do it.
Wow. So, viewers, I'm sure you're learning something new with respect to the sperm, and there's just so much more that's coming. Well, let's see what some of the causes are with respect to DNA fragmentation. What are possible things that could actually cause high level of DNA fragmentation for
So,
them?
so by the way, before I answer that question, it's good to
Yeah.
tell uh, to talk about the importance of DNA fragmentation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if a sperm has high level of DNA fragmentation.
Fragmentation.
And by the way, you have a 15% of DNA fragmentation accepted to be good sperm.
Oh,
So if a
wow.
sperm has 15% fragmentation, that is tolerable, it's accepted to be a good sperm.
Hmm.
So if you have a fragmentation rate between 15 to 25%, the sperm is still considered to be good. Then
Okay.
between 25 to 30,
Yeah.
yeah, the sperm is fair.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Then above 30, and some say above 40, the sperm is considered to be very poor.
Oh, oh.
And when it is very poor
Hmm.
or just fair, the rate of fertilization is low.
Hmm.
The rate of miscarriages could be very high.
Hi.
Yes,
Wow.
the rate of getting pregnancy or getting pregnant will be low when it is above 30.
Parents.
You know, while we were younger in
Yeah.
a, in a, in a, in medicine,
Yeah.
or maybe better put, when we were in the medical school or residency, let me not go too far backwards.
Okay.
When we're doing residency, specializing in the field of medicine,
Medicine.
you know, whenever a woman has miscarried, then they say, okay, it's because the eggs were bad,
Bad. Hmm.
and so miscarriages happen.
Happened.
Oh yeah, when she has a blighted ovum, for instance,
Okay.
the situation you have a pregnancy, you know, beginning, and then
Yeah.
eventually the pregnancy disintegrates, and you can only see the shell of the pregnancy,
Pregnancy. Okay.
an empty sac. We
Hmm.
say the eggs is bad.
Hmm.
You know, when the woman gets miscarried, she cries alone, and you feel she just lost everything because
Yes.
she's old, the eggs are bad. But I think that knowledge is changing, or it rather has changed.
Hmm.
Yes, so much more that when there's a miscarriage now and you do a cytogenetic analysis of that product, to a large extent, you'll be finding out that the sperm may have been what is responsible.
Wow. Hmm.
So now we have a situation like more of the situations are such that when there is a miscarriage now, instead of just the woman crying,
Crying.
I think the
Yes.
man should cry first,
Yeah.
because of abnormalities with
Hmm.
sperms, heighten or increase percentages of DNA fragmentation and all of that. So this is actually the significance of DNA fragmentation.
Fragmentation. Wow.
And for those of us who are specialists in assisted reproduction technology,
Yeah.
doing IVF and all of that, most times you see you generate very good embryos, and you just feel
Yes.
that this embryo is a grade A embryos from a very poor sperms, and everybody goes rejoicing, oh, we have blastocysts, one grade A blastocyst, or whatever kind of grading system is used in the society.
Yes.
And eventually pregnancy doesn't happen.
Happen.
Then you go say, oh, we don't know why it doesn't happen.
Happen.
Yes, in as much as there are other reasons why pregnancy wouldn't happen,
Happen.
which is going to be related to the egg quality, the quality of the endometrium,
Sure.
technicalities of procedures, the sperm and the DNA fragmentation.
Fragmentation. Wow.
It's one major reason why this wouldn't happen. So you could have fertilization and then no pregnancy. Good embryos,
Yes.
physically without
Yes.
genetic analysis, and then no pregnancy. So this is actually the significance. Yes, this is actually the significance, because the sperms are actually been undergoing lot of attritions, lot of attritions, and the DNA fragmentation actually, it's the I assume it should be the highest quality that should be looked for, in analyzing sperms, because you could have 20 million sperms with high level of DNA fragmentation, and then getting pregnant.
Pregnant.
Why the regular conventional seminal fluid analysis says that, hey, this guy has good
Great
sperms,
sperm.
and sometimes you say, oh, these sperms are like bullets, but they could have high level of DNA fragmentation. The genetic materials are broken in pieces to a high level, maybe 30% and above. And so chances of getting pregnant is lower.
Yeah.
Chances of having miscarriage when you're pregnant is high. Or chances of just having abnormal embryos are high. So this is actually the significant, and it's very, very important. Most people don't look at this. The only people who do this are usually those that will operate in the field of assisted reproduction technology, and those who are specialists in the research of human reproduction. So it's actually a very important aspect of a sperm to look
Shouldn't be
at.
overlooked.
So the sperm is undergoing attrition.
Hmm.
Yeah. So what was the question you asked again?
Causes
Sorry.
of DNA fragmentation. Yes, so viewers, I'm sure you've been able to draw so much information. You can see that Dr. Ken is so loaded that
Oh
well,
yeah.
we have to give him time to express all this, explain, so you have
Mm,
good understanding of why this is a very important topic to deal
mhm.
with. This is something that people overlook most of the time. People are quiet about. People seem to have swept under the carpet, not knowing that it plays a major role for the
Yeah.
sperm,
Mhm.
and he has made us to understand why. So you might as well draw the attention to even your doctor that's seeing you, just in case they've not talked about it. So
That's
you
very
get their
correct.
inputs and know what they think about it.
That's very correct. So causes of DNA fragmentation.
Yeah.
Uh, in the first place, any guy, any man, any genetic man
Yeah.
or biological man
Yeah.
could have DNA fragmentation,
Okay.
irrespective of the age,
Mm.
to start with, because there are a lot of causes or different causes of DNA fragmentation. If you look at the time we're living in today,
Yeah.
stress, especially oxidative stress,
Stress.
are one major causes of DNA fragmentation, and this can happen to anybody.
Anybody.
Working in very hostile environment. I mean, when I say hostile environment, environment laden with radiations and all of that,
Mm.
could cause a lot of DNA fragmentations. Because these sometimes you don't know that there are radiations in an environment,
Mm.
and then you're just walking around. That can cause DNA fragmentation. Oxidative stress,
Yeah.
that's a major cause. And now, regular stressful kind of life, could cause DNA fragmentation.
Meditation. Wow.
Yes, and stress in life varies from place
It's
to
true.
place,
Yeah.
from physical activities,
Mm.
lack of rest, exhaustions, all of that, even consumption of some kind of chemical, staying in a hostile, fumed environment, inhaling of abnormal fumes could cause DNA fragmentation. Of course,
Fragmentation.
whether you're a young boy or a young man or middle age or how old, so long as you are exposed to any of those abnormal
Condition.
stress
Yeah.
condition, you could have increased DNA fragmentation.
Fragmentation.
You know, I remember we're saying that every man actually has DNA fragmentation,
Fragmentation. Hmm.
just that it is in
No.
degrees. The
Mm.
higher the
Yeah.
degrees, usually degrees greater than 30,
Yeah.
is where the
Have a
problems
significant
begin
impact.
to show.
Yeah.
Greater than 40 is usually very, very bad.
Bad.
So that's one cause. Secondly, is infection.
Oh.
Yeah, genital infections, for instance. Genital infections affecting the areas of the testicles, the penis, and all of that could cause DNA fragmentation. So infection, uh, it's a major cause of DNA fragmentation.
Fragmentation.
Another cause could be aging.
Oh.
Yes. So as men are naturally, with or without stress, getting older,
Old.
DNA fragmentation index or percentage is increasing.
Increasing. Wow.
So, the previous information or teaching is that a man can get a woman pregnant even when he is up to 100 years or all of that. Yes, that's
Yes.
very true. It still holds true till date, but the quality of the sperms decreases, and abnormalities, genetic abnormalities, also
Yes.
higher with those. And genetic diseases can easily be transferred from older sperms, getting a young lady pregnant and all of that. So aging is high cause, one major cause
Cause
of a DNA
fragmentation.
fragmentation, and so you do an IVF with an old man's sperm and it's still looking very fine and you didn't get pregnant,
Exactly.
or he's not able to make his wife pregnant by
Pregnant.
natural conception,
Conception.
spontaneous conception,
Yeah.
it could be DNA fragmentation. There are now metabolic diseases that come with age. The diabetes, the hypertension, the medication consumed during these metabolic conditions can also worsen the sperm condition and cause DNA fragmentation. And so it makes the sperm weaker or poorer and unable to achieve pregnancy. And so one important cause that was never taken seriously previously, and it's becoming a lot more serious now,
Yeah.
is abnormal blood vessels on the scrotum or testicles.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a situation, a condition that the urologists, or rather we call um, varicocele. That's testicular varicocele. When you have
Yes.
dilated, engorged blood vessels on the scrotum. The scrotum has blood vessels, the testicles have blood vessels,
Yeah.
but there's a caliber and the anatomy of the blood vessel that is considered to be normal. So for some reason, some people grow very tortuous blood vessels, you know. Now these blood vessels grow so much that they don't allow flow of blood out of the testicles. So the metabolites that should be taken out of the testicles, testicular blood will stay around there, so cause poison to the sperm producing cells, and
Yeah.
also heat up the sperms and cause fragmentation of the sperms that are stored. You know, so engorged blood vessels, testicular, I mean varicoceles, a
Yeah.
major cause, and of course, we see that frequently. So much more that well, it doesn't mean when you have this condition you automatically not be able to make a woman pregnant. You could make a woman pregnant because a good number of guys make a woman pregnant
Pregnant.
with or without correction. But when fertility
Becomes
becomes
a
an issue,
challenge. Yeah.
and you need to deal with all of these conditions. So these are few
Causes.
causes, of DNA fragmentations.
Fragmentation.
Yeah.
So viewers, hope we are noting this down. It's just a lot with respect to DNA fragmentation. Some things that we don't even regard at all. He has made us to understand that these are some things that we should not close our eyes to. There are a lot of causes, but he has given us a few of them that are really, really vital and are things that we should hold seriously. Well, I know that some people will wonder now, sometimes when people get enlightened, now you're talking about DNA fragmentation. Everybody now wants to do DNA
Oh, sure.
fragmentation. So, well, are there, I'm sure with your field and experience over time, are there times that you recommend this invest? First of all, what's even the investigation that should be done? Because I heard you talk about seminal fluid analysis, which a lot of people are familiar with. So, how do they get to know the investigation that should be done? And then, when do you recommend this investigation for people, for a couple?
Okay, so I work in a reproductive unit, and so most of the clients we see by default are clients who are having challenge getting one
Yes.
or getting their partners pregnant, or who needs to get pregnant. Okay,
Yes.
so it's easy to see this pool or this cohort of clients coming our
Yes.
ways, So and one of the tests we do is the seminal fluid analysis. So the seminal fluid analysis is, for instance, a general test you do when you want to check what the sperms are. We are going to use the sperm to make someone pregnant, whether by intrauterine insemination,
Yeah.
conventional IVF,
IVF. Mm.
ICSI, which is intracytoplasmic sperm injection,
Yeah.
or even when you want to do pre-implantation genetic
Genetic.
diagnosis.
Mm.
This is advanced IVF. So we do the regular seminal fluid analysis.
Analysis. Mm.
And then when we have abnormal sperms, for instance, because sometimes we only see sperms that are really, really poor. Poor in number, poor in movement, poor in structure, what we call morphology. Some people have diabetes, for instance, probably poorly controlled with sperm abnormalities or hypertension on bad medication. I mean, good hypertensive medication, but bad effect on sperms.
Sperm.
So we select all these people, or when the sperms are too low, we select them and recommend DNA fragmentation because already they have a lot of metabolic conditions and that will predispose them to having high DNA fragmentation. Or women who have had several IVFs and haven't achieved success yet,
Okay.
even when the sperm seems to be good and you can't really place your hand on what you think is making it fail,
Okay.
they may be a good candidate for DNA fragmentation. So the test actually is DNA fragmentation index. So what the laboratory guys would call DFI.
Oh, okay.
So when you hear DFI, DNA fragmentation index, is the
Okay.
test we're talking about. So here, an advanced sperm testing is going to be done, looking at the chromatid of the chromosome material of the sperm, the way they stain, and the way they interpret them, percentage, and all of that. So that's just the name of the test.
Okay, so viewers, hope we are also noting this. Yes, you don't just always walk away. Well, on your own choice. If it's you on your own that still want to just check, well, it's not a bad thing to do. But these are some of the reasons, and that's why if you've gone through IVF and your doctor didn't recommend this for you, you don't say, okay, that doctor is a bad doctor because he didn't
There may be
recommend this.
reasons.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. There might be reasons for it. So, well, now for those people that you get to see that high have this high DNA fragmentation, is there a cure for it really? Because I'm sure the next thing people want to know what can be done. Is there something that can be
Yeah.
done?
You try to look at what could be causing it. You know, because I've highlighted that infection could cause it, a stressful lifestyle could cause it, oxidative stress, poor abnormal medications, testicular varicocele.
Yeah.
These are all possible causes, and aging. So now you look for what the causes are. Well, in our own system, actually, once a sperm doesn't even meet the normal criteria of what is assumed to be normal,
Normal.
we begin to investigate what is making the
happening.
sperms that way. In case it's a situation that needs to be corrected. Because you don't just assume that you're doing an IVF, all you care about is getting sperms to fertilize an egg, and you don't care about the environment that the sperms are coming from, and what abnormalities may be inherent in a sperm that apparently looks normal, and it's not getting a woman pregnant. So you look for the causes, and when you see the causes, you treat the causes, and you probably place the individual on medication to optimize the sperm health. And then you watch the sperm. After a while, you could repeat the analysis to see if there is a change or not. Then you take your chances, and of course, it helps you to counsel the individuals on the expectations, because a lot of people coming to do IVF just feel that because it's IVF, they should just get pregnant. It doesn't work that way.
That way,
Yeah, it's never
exactly.
100%. It's not even 50%.
Exactly.
Largely because your chances of success may be individualized. If your gametes, your health conditions, the egg conditions are poor, you don't expect so great chances of getting pregnant. So when you see the cause, if it's abnormal blood vessels in the testicles, you take them out.
Okay.
If it's metabolic stressors that are there causing oxidative stress, you try to control as much that to be controlled. So you optimize the sperms before making them useful for pregnancy. So you treat. If it's infection, you give antimicrobial, for instance. Yeah.
So viewers, hope we were noting all of this. Well, I have a comment from Reef Katsu. She's saying always on point with the right information. That's going to you, Dr. Ken. Well done, and
Thanks.
kudos to Alps Hospitals. Thank you, Reef Katsu, for hope I pronounced the name well. Thank you for the comments. Yeah, so viewers, we've taken our time. Dr. Ken has taken our time to actually analyze sperm DNA fragmentation, and I believe that with the way he has actually explained, if you have any concerns with respect to this, I believe they are well addressed. Of course, if they are not well addressed, well, just a phone call away, the number being displayed on the screen, you could either call or book an online consultation, or better still, visit us at any of our centers at Alps Abuja or Alps Jos. We're always there to respond or, yes, attend to your concerns. Well, as with respect to DNA fragmentation, I'm sure that if you've seen someone now that has a lot of recurrent miscarriage that they cannot explain, Dr. Ken has also let us know that now they are looking at the man. All fingers are not pointing at the woman anymore. So let's, women, dust your shoulder and raise it up. We are not alone anymore. So it means that, yes, it's not just about the woman now. Thorough evaluation has to be done for the man. So all fingers shouldn't point at the woman anymore. Well, as we wrap up on this note, do you have any counsel to audience with respect to sperm DNA fragmentation and fertility as a whole?
Oh, well, on sperms generally, I think the men should indulge in lifestyle, especially those men who are still seeking reproduction and fertility, should indulge in lifestyle that would help with reproduction, which includes exercise lifestyle, healthy eating, reduction in consumption of aesthetic drugs or social or recreational drugs, and take time to have good discussion with reproductive endocrinologists or reproductive gynecologists when you have concern about health, the sperm health,
Yeah.
or concerns with the male reproductive organs, and then if the sperms are low and you have not used your sperms yet, it's good to analyze them and possibly freeze them, yeah, and use them for the future.
Future
Yeah, because the sperms are really undergoing a lot of changes,
changes.
subtle changes that we don't even understand. And much more important is the deletions that happen onto the Y chromosomes of the sperms, and the disease condition that they have tendency of propagating, and of course the health implication on the life of newborn male babies and the future for reproduction or procreation. So I think the sperms needs to be protected very, very well.
Well, I know that you have this thing for CRISPR. Is there a future for this sperm? With the way sperm seems to be just going on the decline by the day, do we have any future? Is there something that you scientists are actually considering in respect to how the sperm can be helped? Because we don't seem to understand the whole decline with the sperm and all of that.
Oh, sure. I think the sperms can actually be helped. It will be helped, and one of the ways is to keep it simple. When the sperms are undergoing a free decline, just for those guys who have not used their sperms yet,
Yeah.
to get them frozen
Frozen.
after due analysis. Yes, and why the genetic abnormalities happening with the sperms, as an attrition of or deletion of characteristics on the Y chromosomes, may be decided with genetic treatment for the future. That is what we think for the future.
Future.
Otherwise, the male race has actually been endangered for a while.
We hope something saves them from the danger.
Like dinosaurs, right?
Oh yeah.
We are dinosaurs. We will survive.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully. Well, okay. Even though this is out of the box, we have Linda asking, can our embryos be moved from one clinic to another? That she wants to change hospital. That is it possible to move our embryos from one clinic
Now, I don't
to
know where she's
another?
asking from. Yes, embryos can be moved from one hospital to the other, and there is a special way of moving embryos, Yeah, like for us, for instance, in Alps, we've gotten embryos from across the continent, some from Europe, some from the United Kingdom, some from United States, and we've gotten from locally from Nigeria. Just that you have to make contact with the organizations so that and you get the appropriate transport system, because you don't move them in any medium. You have to move them in special containers, in the tanks or flags that are well prepared with liquid nitrogen, throughout the entire period of transport.
So you cannot carry the embryo like
and
your
there are
handbag.
exactly, and there are special transports. There are special transportation system, cryotransporters, transcontinental, transoceanic, doing all of this transport. And what the transport, if it is transcontinental, it's actually very expensive. Yeah, very expensive. But if it is local, that could be a little bit less expensive.
Okay.
But yes, can be transported from one organization to the other.
So Linda, I hope that answers your question.
Not just embryos. Oocytes can be transferred that way. Sperms can be transferred that way. Yeah.
So Linda, I hope that answers your question. Maybe if you're looking towards doing that, I'm sure you could still have your contact. You could chat us up, and maybe they could just link you up with the head of embryology to maybe help and see how that can be done. Just in case you're thinking of that, or you know someone that wants to. So we have Mary from YouTube saying the session is very helpful. Yes, of course. That's okay. We always have a good time with you. So
I hope they don't go harassing us, the men.
Oh yeah, because of this information.
We've not been harassed for a while now,
Well, yes, I'm with you on these women if you want. You're not alone. Thank you so much, Dr. Ken.
Thank you so
It was a
much.
good outing with you today. And viewers, thank you for engaging us. It was a very interesting session. I know that we'll see more of you in our next sections and our next episode. Please keep staying tuned. Look out for our various posts and our various handles. We are live on all handles and we're active on all our social media handles. So we look forward to seeing more of you. But until now, we wish you a very lovely evening. Bye.